This podcast is created on Treaty 8 territory, the ancestral and present-day home to the many diverse First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. We honor the original caretakers of this land, the history, and the opportunity to walk together in friendship, truth, and reconciliation. There are so many reasons why I love living in Alberta, but one of them is definitely the thriving arts community. And as a photographer, my all-time favorite photography to capture through the lens of my camera is live music. I think it has to do with the lighting, the passion, the energy. It just makes me feel so creative, and the music scene here is pretty amazing. Living in Grande Prairie, I've had the privilege of hearing some incredible bands and being part of the music festival scene. And as a podcaster, I absolutely can't get enough of hearing the behind-the-scenes stories of what makes people want to start a music festival, be a part of a collaboration, and what inspires them to create and write music.
Just wanna uplift you, spread love and positivity. Yeah, everybody tune in to Cara Jones Speaks. Wanna shed light on the extraordinary. Sharing people's stories from struggling to glory. It's all about empowerment, the coolest channel you're gonna find. Trying to make the world better, one step at a time. Let's go. Cara Jones Speaks. Yeah, Cara Jones.
In August 2023, I got the chance to be the photographer for the first ever Sakâwînow Music Festival. The Sakâwînow Music Festival is a 2-day, 2-night world culture electronic music festival just a short drive outside of Grande Prairie in Chatwin, BC. The festival had an amazing feel with music from around the world incorporating Indigenous culture that was weaved through the stellar lineup that included musicians like DJ Shub, Snotty Nose Res Kids, DJ Cookum, Delhi to Dublin, Dirty Radio, and so many more. I caught up with festival creator Daniel Desjarlais to ask him a few questions around what inspired him to create this music festival in his community and how would he like to see it evolve. Can you tell me about Sakâwînow and what does that word mean?
So Sakâwînow, it means bushman in Cree. I ended up using that word because it's actually my native name that I got given by my great grandfather when I was a kid. I've always used my name Daniel, obviously, but I've always wanted to find a way to use Sakâwînow. And when this idea kind of came out and everything, and I started planning it, and we were trying to come up with names for it, and it just kind of was like, you know what, this is kind of like perfect, because one, who doesn't like Sasquatch or Bushman, right? And like there's already like Sasquatch Music Festival or Bushman, but there's never been Sakâwînow, right? Because it's a Cree word.
I love it. Is it George that gave it to you?
No, it was his dad.
Oh, his dad.
My grandpa Maxie.
Oh my God, I love that. Because he was telling me about it at the festival, and I was like, that is awesome. I know that George had a t-shirt for every day of the week with a different Sakâwînow on it. And when I found out that's what it meant, and that was your name, I'm like, that makes sense. What inspired you to want to make this festival?
In 2020, right before the pandemic hit, we were out camping on May Long weekend out at the Williston Reservoir just outside of Hudson Hope. And when the waters are low, there's a sandy beach there and everything. So it would just so happen to be that the waters were low at that time of year. And so we went out onto the sandy beaches and went to go camping and stuff. And we realized we forgot our chairs and stuff, right? And so we started thinking okay, well, we got a sandy beach, let's just make some chairs in the sand. We'll make a ring of chairs in the sand or whatever, and started doing it. And it was a lot of work. We very quickly learned how much work it was, and we stopped doing that. We instead built a 3-foot deep and 10-foot round big bonfire pit. And then we got 5 truckloads of wood and built this massive 15-foot bonfire right on the reservoir. and you had like the mountains in the background. It was and then we waited until sunset to light it up and everything, and it was just really, really nice, and it was amazing, and everyone was having so much fun. And like throughout the whole time we were building it, we were listening to every kind of music you can think of. Like we were going from hip hop to rap to metal to country to folk to powwow music to African Afro beats, right? Like we were listening to everything, and everyone was just having a blast, and like it was just a ton of fun. And I was just like, you know what? Like this is something that I really enjoy. And at this point too, like when we started the bonfire, we had about 200 people out there, because there was all the other campers that all ended up coming over and joining us, because they were watching us build it all day long, and they were like, this is gonna be awesome. And they're like, yeah, come over tonight when we light it up. We're gonna have a little party and everything. And it was just, yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, just kind of like sitting there on the beach with me and my two other buddies there, and we just kind of started talking like this would be a really awesome idea to like make a music festival like this, like where you got northern beauty, you got the northern beauty, and then you got the world music and everything, like so it's accommodating for pretty much anybody. You want to come and you'd see something or feel like you're a part of something, it's there for you, right? and
Absolutely.
and I was like, that's awesome. I loved it. And so I ran with it. And now I'm continuing.
Well, I have to say, when I heard that Delhi to Dublin was going to be there, I was a huge Delhi to Dublin fan back in the day, too, back when I used to go to festivals in Nova Scotia. And when the first time I'd seen them, I was like, whoa, what is this band? Like, this is so cool. And then when I got to the festival, I was just completely floored by exactly what you're talking about, the eclectic, mix of cultures and music and the talent. Oh my God. DJ Shub, DJ Cookham. Oh my gosh. I can't even, all of them. They're amazing. Was there anything during the festival for you that really stood out that made you go, oh my God, this is the best. I'm so glad I did this?
Just watching everyone's reactions, seeing everyone having a really good time and everything. And like I was running around like crazy, and I like insanely, but I had so much fun. Like I enjoyed myself so much. I ended up walking like 126,000 steps in those 4 days, and I could barely walk after the Saturday, but I would never change. I wouldn't change anything. That was such a fun event, and it was just an amazing experience, even just for me.
What would you
So
like to see it become?
I would love to see it become an annual event that attracts people from all over the world. And like I want it to grow to the point where we have multiple stages and we have a big camping area and everything. And like I just a lot of representation, and no matter what form of art or talent it is, like we'll have something to represent you.
When I was explaining it to people, I said it was like Coachella and Burning Man meets Indigenous culture, right? And it was that vibe of, you had your EDM and rock and hip hop and all these different things. Why do you think it's important to have festivals like this in communities like yours?
I think it's important because it does provide an outlet for these people, and like for and it's not just focusing on a certain group or a certain genre. Like I've always been I've always loved music, just music in general. I've listened to all sorts of music. I used to even listen to classical when I was a professional cook and everything, right? So like my music tastes are all over the world, all over the place. So I just like music in general, and I want to provide a platform to be able to promote that and promote stuff that I really like and stuff that doesn't necessarily get promoted in other places because of their culture or who they are, or maybe they're just not well known yet or something, right? And it's like, well, I want to, especially up here in the north, like we don't have much of that around here. There are some other festivals and stuff, but they're all country, folk, and rock stuff. And it's like, okay, that's cool. It's awesome. But what about all the other performers and stuff that don't do country, folk, and rock? Right? Like, well, what
Yes,
about them? Like, we have all of those people up here too. So we got to give them a place to go as well, right? So,
absolutely. And you're right. Like, there's lots happening in Edmonton or in those areas, but going farther north, it's limited. For you do have a lot of folk festivals and things like that, but yeah, the kind of eclectic feel that you were creating was really unique to this area. And I know that I wasn't sure, are you going to go for 2025 or are you going to go for 2024?
2025, I actually lost my venue.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so I
Okay.
have to find a new venue.
Well, you
Yeah.
know what? I think 2025 is a good goal because after doing your first year, I'm sure you probably learned a lot and
Oh, yeah.
gives you so much time to build that like volunteer community.
However, that being said, I am building another folk festival for Chetwynd right now for
Awesome.
so I'm
Love it.
still doing something for this summer with my company.
Oh, I love it. Thanks so much, Daniel.
Thank you.
In the fall of 2023, I met my new friend Stacey Forsberg, whose shout out has helped me record this part of the episode. So thank you, Stacey. Stacey's a huge fan of music like me and introduced me to her brother Riley Forsberg, who belongs to the band Angry Outdoor Kids, also known as AOK. The hip-hop group Angry Outdoor Kids is made up of 5 members: Riley, Levi Kirkham, Darby Lalaberty, Jordy Shearback, and Alexander St. James. The Angry Outdoor Kids have a sound that mixes hip-hop beats with a soulful funk undertone and lyrics that pay tribute to their life experiences and the dunnies who helped them along the way. The first time I heard the Angry Outdoor Kids perform, it was actually at this really cool event that happens every year called the Electric Paradox, and it's put on by the band Goodbye Iris. Needless to say, I was pumped to hear some local talent and capture some new shots. I got to interview Levi and Riley about what inspired them to create the band, but most importantly, I wanted to know, what exactly is a dunny and why are they always referencing bees and honey in their lyrics? Can you tell me a little bit about how Angry Outdoor Kids became a thing? What was it that inspired you to want to create this band?
I used to be like a big graffiti artist. That was like my passion. And I was painting with these guys and they were in a crew. But I wanted to make something new. I wanted to, start my own thing. So I started painting AOK, Angry Outdoor Kids. We started hanging out in just after high school. We met up one night and we were talking about music and shit. And I think the first name we brought up was DJ Quick. That's how it all started. I said, do you listen to DJ Quick? And he's like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I just started listening to him. I love 90s hip hop. I love old school hip hop and stuff. And we just kind of talked about that. And I was saying, I love making music. Me and my buddy, Tevin, we were starting freestyling and stuff. But then he moved away and I felt like something was missing. I needed to do this music. And I found this guy, Levi. And he's like, what would we call it? I'm like, well, I'm a graffiti artist and I got this crew and it's Angry Outdoor Kids. And he's like, that's
Boom.
it.
Away we go.
We were discussing about how we all have different ways of feeling inspired when we're creating artwork, but when you guys are playing Dealer of the Feelings, it's
Hardship.
it's hard, yeah, but it's so powerful, and you stop and pause at the end for a moment of silence. What inspired that song?
Dealer of the Feeling. That was actually the name of the beat. Levi always has these crazy names for the beats. But that really captivated what we were going to try and spit. When we're making hooks, we always kind of just feed up each other, pass the phone back and forth, listen to the beat, hours go by. But then we made the hook, and then it was for the dunnies, man. Like,
What's a dunny?
it's your homie. That's your dunny.
Oh,
It's the favorite one.
Yeah, it's
Dunny.
And the first dunny I ever had was Tevin Draper. Me and Tevin, we loved hip hop so much. We're like, why don't we just start making it? right? We listen to all these songs. We wait up all night waiting for the next Earl Sweatshirt album to release, you know. And then we just started, you know, going to parties and stuff. High school was freestyling, beatboxing, and then he moves away. He's starting to make music. But then the guy passes away, my brother. And we go to his funeral in Kelowna. And I had to write a speech for my boy, right? Funeral is live streamed, so everybody can see it, right? We're fast forward. We're making the album. We go back in time and look for that funeral footage, and we find my speech, and we take the audio and put it into the song. And honestly, when he first put it on, I bawled my goddamn eyes out, man. I cried. It was so good. That's why we take our hats off every time that sample plays.
Yeah, every time we play a show, like every album, every song, like I challenge people, man, if you're actually listening to our music, you can't find a song where we don't say Dunny, Bees and Honey.
I did notice the bees and honey one.
Yeah, so back to like what a Dunny is real quick. Like the reason we say Bees and Honey, it all came from him and Tevin. And like after all this time, I mean, like a Dunny is family. And it's like Bees and Honey because you don't get the sweet without the sting. Like you get the good with the bad. Every song, man, we reference it so much because none of this shit wouldn't have happened. We're very real to
Paying homage.
Yeah, it's all Tevin, man. Like at the end of the day, it's all Tevin.
And we're trying to make our own thing. You know, we want people to, you know, we want to be different.
Man,
we're trying to start a movement here. Yeah, there's a lot of Dunnies, yo.
Dunnies out there, you know. like you should be a good
Yo,
neighbor.
let me like that one like our last song on the Dunnage.
The Dunnage.
Called The Dunnage.
Yeah.
The hook starts with "Let me get my Dunny. Let me get my day ones, I got plenty."
Let me get my Dunny. Let me get my day ones, I got plenty. Many with the same goals, no really. If I'ma need somebody, better call me up a Dunny. Bees and some honey, krill and some money. Tears from the gully, got tears when it's sunny. Meals for the hungry, real like it's supposed to be. I only feel it if my dogs are me. I only kill it if these Dunnies involved. These honeys are nose. Peace, love, and get more. This heat will get you toast. Deep down in the Dunnies, the people getting lost. Call the cops if you see we coming close.
Yo, back to the Bees and Honey, too. Like, we got our newest MC, Darby Laliberty. He's been with us since back in the beginning, making the beats and running the mix behind. Yeah,
from day one, dude.
Day one, man.
It's
on a budget. Yeah, that's strictly YouTube. Yeah, that was where we first started. It was called that for a reason. It was made on Audacity. Yo, I'm giving them. I'm throwing that out right now.
Been here since before Jordy and Alex, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And we refuse to play shows without them. That used to be a thing. Man, we're a band. You know what I mean? Like,
kind of have it like we're kind of trying to surprise people. You know, like here's another one. Here's another kid. You know. Yeah. But he's really invested in the band and the whole concept we have.
As a collective, you guys definitely killed it the both times I went to see, so I can't wait to see what else you're going to be creating in the next few years.
We're coming out 2 new songs, Northern Rhythm.
Yeah.
It's another trend for us to try to, usually every show, man, we're trying to pump something new.
Something new.
Something.
We're always working on something.
So, yeah, like we're coming out with 2, you know, we only got a month out, but this is all we do, man. We both work 9 hours a day. We come here and it's just work every night, man.
I was going to ask you guys, as artists, we have different things that inspire us to want to create, to write. What is it that inspires you to write from your life? We all have our playlists, okay?
Yeah, exactly,
in the car,
right?
When we're crying in the car, we're like freaking so mad in the car. Like, Limp Bizkit is one of those for me.
Right? Well, it's just one of those. Everybody sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, but and sometimes you might have heard a song and never even really heard it until you've gone through that thing.
You can listen to it like almost like, I've listened to some songs like 100 times, but like maybe the 101 time, like then you really listen to the lyrics.
Because you're feeling it.
Yeah.
You're feeling it.
I love those songs.
You guys had some pretty monumental moments lately, and I'm really glad that I got to be a part of it and see it. Talk to me a little bit about the Paradox.
I don't know, man. After playing clubs for so long, and then the band grew after picking up Alex and Jordy and Darby, and it's like we kind of felt small in these clubs, and then we play arenas and it's big, but you can't hit them all the time. And then finding GP live and just doing the Electric Paradox was sick. Just to have a crowd sit down, forced to listen to it, you know, like more captivated. I think we got the best feedback ever from that night, just because it was like, well, dude, yeah, you actually listen to the music, you know?
Oh yeah, I remember I came up to you and I was like, oh man, are you from PEI?
Yeah, right. Because of that bar.
Was like,
yeah,
you heard that in there. I was like,
yeah,
LEVI from
and you can't blame
PEI.
anybody. It's just you're out there having fun, but to sit you down and we were nervous about it too. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was so different from like the previous shows we played. Like we're used to playing clubs, people are jumping around on the dance floor, but this was just like you couldn't even see the crowd because the lights are in your face, right? Yeah, it's a theater.
So we got just beaming light, but I don't know, it was kind of
cool, yeah.
Up there, man, there was a little bit of stage high, just like spitting to nobody.
For sure, yeah.
There was a certain sense of just like I'm spitting to the whole world right now.
So when you just recently played on stage with Chaos,
yeah.
I mean, how are you feeling about that? Because Chaos, I'm a huge Chaos fan.
I grew up listening to his stuff, man.
My God. Yeah, you were loving life. I was loving watching
yeah.
you.
Yeah, you posted a video. Yeah, I was
the best, like the joy.
Like that's such a good guy to share the stage with as far as another Canadian artist that's actually made it.
Yeah.
Feel like his music's similar to ours, man. It was awesome, man. He heard our sound check and he was like, yeah, we kind of stoked him up. He just didn't expect to see what he saw.
Yeah, a little town, Grand Prairie, Alberta.
Yeah,
who expects that? Like, right?
Yeah, you never expected Donnie's lawn, but you gotta respect that.
The song Tiny Things Happen, you're talking about how you don't care. You're there to spit the rhymes, to make the art. I was like, right? Isn't that it? Like, so sometimes we lose that when we get so caught up in the machine of making music. So when I heard those lyrics, I was like, right, we all have these goals to get to a certain place with our art. Yeah. But when you were rapping about that, I was like, that holding on to that is such a thing that's sacred. Music has changed so much in how you get your music out there.
Yeah.
But what keeps you going in wanting to keep it fresh and out there for new listeners?
I think, again, it's got to come back to that, like the whole therapy of it. I know at the end of the day, that's why all of us are in it.
It's like a vice.
It's all just therapy. So like when we're coming out to making music, when it comes to making the music, it's just... I don't really think we never think about putting it out for anybody. Like we're putting it out for us at the end of the day. So I think that's where the bar came from. And it's just, I'm doing it for the people that you're only going to listen to it if you want to listen to it, I guess is what I'm trying to puke out right now, is just not trying to pander to who the audience may be. We're going to do it the way we see fit and the audience will be. We've never really chased money or anything like that. We just tried to have...
It's always been a kind of a passion project.
Yeah, just the best time we can possibly have. I forget I'm performing. I forget that everybody just bought tickets. Like, it's completely out the window.
Yeah.
I forget that we even made the shit. Like, we'll be off stage in the green room and be like, dude.
Hey, yeah.
Like, it just catches up to you that, like, we made that happen. We did it. We wrote that, dude. Like 6 months.
Every time Tiny Things Happen plays, man, we're just looking at each other like, damn.
If you'd like to learn more about the Angry Outdoor Kids or the Sakâwînow Music Festival, check out my website, CaraJonesSpeaks.tv, and I'll also have a link in the show notes. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Cara Jones Speaks, and I hope you'll join us next time as I continue to shed light on the extraordinary.